All right, so welcome back to. Oh, okay, good. It is connected. So zero concurrent viewers right now, but hopefully we'll get more viewers sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm sure people will come back to the VOD at the very least.
Yeah, assuming the VOD actually works out this time. Uh, uh, I still find it really hilarious that last month's VOD ended with like Ange saying, "Oh no, this doesn't look good," and then stopping. But anyways, so do you want
Pretty
to
funny.
talk about the balance changes this month?
Oh, yeah. The ones I paid attention to were the mill the mill ones
Oh yeah,
because I was playing mill
you
last week
you
and
broke the format.
it wasn't really. I guess I broke the format. It was the most boring games I've played. They haven't changed it on.
They have changed it
They
on
haven't changed it on
Instigator.
Insta.
Okay, so the images are changed. The
Oh yeah,
text
yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
been
yeah.
changed. So
Yeah, the text has not been changed, but um, it was the three most boring games I've ever played, and then like a close game against the control deck, which is crazy because this mill is supposed to be more um interactable, but like it was just so like, oh my god, that mill deck was fucked up. I'm glad it's been hit. Um, I don't know if it's fixed. I still think a lot of the problems around it being very um a lot less interactable than it seems, and um you know being a little bit boring and lame and one note is still a thing, but I think it's definitely less played, so I guess it succeeded in that.
do you think blank pages is still
That
playable post nerf?
blank pages.
Yeah,
um I mean, you still have I think hoarding crab is playable, and
that didn't
this is
get
better
nerfed,
than
right?
hoarding crab. Hoarding crab did not get nerfed. um um Let me see exactly what got nerfed. It was blank pages and spilling secrets.
Yeah,
Spilling secrets is now an end step trigger, which I don't think is strictly a downgrade. Um, but blank pages I still think is good because on average, if you're playing some instance, you'll be able to do 4 per turn. Um, Especially with uh oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name here. But the one that's like compelling pariah or something.
yeah.
Um but yeah, that one's we also got um Arita got reworked.
Yeah.
Um Curse of the Tattletale changed because of curses. Then
So Curse of the Tattletale no longer draws on ETB, which means that
hmm,
the curse deck is no longer as free now.
yeah.
They don't get as much free value now. And Dimensional Reshaper got nerfed to now also enter tapped, which means that the winner of last month's GP hopefully won't be tearing up the format again.
Yeah. What's it called? Dead Man's Hand is thankfully not a deck anymore. The deck is scary.
But no, oh, it's still a deck. It's just like Dimensional Reshaper entering tapped is barely a nerf. It just makes the deck
Yeah,
slightly slower.
I don't
it
see any.
basically the main thing it does is it takes away the like one turn combo potential, which was one of the bigger issues. Like the deck itself is still very good because it does have the really good mid range playing with cards like Beats the Forge, but
Yeah.
getting rid of the one turn combo angle makes it a lot more interesting to interact with.
Oh,
Well, it
also
looks like
trans.
we don't. There's not a Dead Man's Hand deck in this GP.
Oh,
So
okay. I think people are overreacted. Also, Transplanted Citadel is now a 4/4, but that card's still really good. So
Yeah,
it's no
still
longer
good.
broken.
Just not broken exactly.
Okay, but I'm surprised nobody submitted a reshaper. I guess that's sort of the post nerf effect where the deck's still good, but
Yeah, I think it won a lot of games last GP off of the combo, and I think it made people forget how good it is as a like mid-range deck.
I don't
Yeah.
think people have
There's also
forgotten.
less people in this GP. There's only
Okay,
19.
yeah, I think there's so every single month when the submissions are locked, there's like a flood of people coming into chat saying that they forgot to submit. I don't know why that is. I always submit the day before.
I always submit like the first of the month if I'm playing.
Ask you, when do you
I
submit?
think for this GP I submitted yesterday. And then last month I submitted the day of.
I mean, you can also say what happened last year because that's how often you've been playing.
Only I'm allowed to make jokes about how little I play this format. But either day before or day of, usually.
Yeah. I do
like,
it day like the start of the month and then just update it. But I always make sure I have something so that if I forget, I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
screwed.
Like I always submit ramp the day before, and then if I come up with a better deck, then I submit the day of. But yeah. Anyways, that's enough talking about not decks, despite it being called a Decklist stream. So let's actually talk about the decks now.
Mhm.
So who's on spreadsheets right now?
I'm adding the like decks in.
Okay, good. Oh, Neon, you're first.
Yeah. What would you call your deck? Because I don't know.
It's very
it's
much
control.
like how do I
It's tempo, right?
it's tempo. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of it's like FA fairy list fairies. That was the reason I made this deck was I wanted to play like copper mono blue, but there's not really like a ton of good wait, it's not fairyless. God damn it.
You
That
can
doesn't
still
make
call it
this emphasis
Fabulous.
accomplished.
It's like how it's like how people still call Affinity even though they don't run Affinity cards, but in reverse.
Well, yeah.
not mono blue either. Fuck.
Blue black tempo.
Tempo frog.
You don't need to over describe it. Just call it. Wait, what is it? Creature control. Okay, blue black.
I just
tempo.
called it deck. I just put that in because it looks like a control deck and it has more creatures.
We're just gonna call it tempo frog because I think that makes sense.
Sure, tempo frog.
I mean,
that runs 4 frogs.
Slippery assassin. Yeah.
So, shout out to Greninja. I want to main that character in Smash so bad, but I'm not a good enough player to do that.
I honestly forget that they put Greninja in.
I have no reference for that because I don't play Smash.
Wow,
can you like at least make it less awkward for Neon?
Well, I might as well go back to the deck. I suppose.
Yeah, let's actually talk about the deck.
So this deck has, just I believe I'm counting correctly, 19 creatures that can counter spells for 2 mana. This really came in, or not even. It doesn't count. Seabreen doesn't counter spells, but
Close enough.
it does significant things like what's it called?
It counters
fetch
things.
lands.
Yeah, yes, counters fetch lands.
Yeah, this also has like a Cane Dancer package that I can counter stuff with Cane Dancer and remove stuff with Celestial Banishment. I played this one game against a villainy deck, and I won at a very close game. So I don't know if that's a great review, but this deck just really wants to like play the tempo game plan of slowly building a board while just saying no to your opponent the entire time. Not a single card in this deck can be played is played at sorcery speed. So you just wait until your opponent's end step and then just never have your mana tapped down. And also, like, have Veilborn Meddlers or Slippery Assassins, or even just Anthon's Accomplice just hit face over and over again. It's I want to say it's pretty straightforward in its execution. I want to talk about Costly Diversion in the sideboard.
Okay.
That is specifically a villainy card.
Change control of target creature you control and target non-creature spell an opponent controls. You may choose. Interesting card.
So I just get a villainy if they try to cast it.
Do you even are you able to trigger villainy?
Trigger villainy?
Yeah, can you trigger villainy?
Hold on.
Well, you have like I have to look.
You have Celestial Banishment, I guess.
I mean, you have Celestial Banishment.
Spell. That's funny. I thought it was just non-creature spell, so that's not great. But there are random things this is good against. Trust.
Trust.
It's probably
I want to
decent.
ask about Vanish too, which is a card I don't see too often. Is bouncing lands worth not getting the clue off of Crest?
Yeah, I thought it's like a big tempo play. You can bounce lands that are potentially like annoying or problematic, or it very much is like if you have your foot on the gas, if you're against like a deck that really wants to play like a lot of, I don't know, 3-drops, just say no for a turn and then hopefully play more lands. It's very much a thing that is abusable because you can flash it back with Cane Dancer. And that way you can just sort of like, if you have this in your deck, you have like this in a Cane Dancer, you can just sort of time walk your opponent by bouncing 2 lands in 1 turn. And it's like, yeah, you're probably losing a lot of cards. It's mostly just a bounce spell for like things you would need to bounce, but it allows you to hit lands sometimes, which I think makes a difference. And yeah, probably should have included Crest now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. It seemed fun to bounce lands, and you know how I feel about like Imperial Siege.
I remember that game you quoted where you Imperial Sieged someone 4 times. That was hilarious.
Yes, I Imperial Sieged Pipsqueak 4 times in the prowess.
Gross.
It was certainly something. Shout out to yeah.
All right. So anyways, are we giving power rankings? Because I don't think any of us are fit to judge the power rankings of decks. Unless we want to give everything a 7.
Make something up. I'm giving myself 5 chili peppers.
3 chili peppers. I'm not super excited to see the games that are going to come from this deck.
Oh, you don't want to see?
I would say I'm already imagining playing against this deck, and I think I would rather drop. Honestly, like,
Asti,
it would just be us staring at each other.
Asti, you need to stop dropping in the middle of the tournament. You're never going to get your GP top 8 if you just keep dropping.
I can't just like choose to not throw out my back.
Skill issue.
All I'm saying is that I will resolve 1 Anthon's accomplice, and that will be my clock. And I will stare at you.
What if I resolve an Anthus' accomplice?
Oh.
Then what?
Then they either trade or they don't.
But who's going to offer the trade first?
I'm looking for your deck, Asti. Are you a control deck or a?
I'm fly. mono blue
Actually, yeah, sure.
flyers.
Actually, how about we talk about your deck first, then?
For
What next?
sure. It's very similar to the deck I ran last GP.
Where are you? Where are you?
The main difference
I can't
is
find you. Where are you?
it's Southwood 1 is my
Oh,
Discord username. So it's
okay. Sure.
so the main differences I made, I changed the board a little bit. I didn't know how good Mill would be, so there's Imagine in there.
Mill got nerfed.
It did, but I heard rumblings that it was like side grades and that it might come back, but I guess
was
not.
That was
probably
just Neon
me.
being that was just Neon overrating Mill, I feel like. Or glazing Mill too
Unbelievable.
much.
But yeah, and then I got rid of Willow Spirit, and I got rid of Willow Spirit Reminiscence, and I swapped out the Spell Pierce for Still the Pandemonium. Just kind of minor adjustments. And then the deck itself, the main difference is I cut Potato Chip Swan. I just never used it for the crumble mode. Like it just never felt good to do that.
Yeah.
So I figured I wouldn't run anymore, and then I swapped out Panya just because I figured the extra turn mode is not really the game plan of the deck. So instead I have another Gale Conjurant. Oh no, I didn't take out Panya. Never mind. I think I just added I changed the numbers on a little bit. I added a Crystal Catcher.
Oh yeah, finally on Crystal
I don't-
Catchers now. Or
I'm
were you
on
on it
Crystal
before?
Catcher.
I forgot.
No, I'm on it now.
Okay, good. Glad to see that I
yeah.
was of help.
I decided I wanted better ways to just having a way to deal with creatures. Main deck is nice, and then I'm also on Powder Scatterer now, just because there was a lot of situations where I'd have the mana for it, and having a straight up hard counter on a creature is nice. Because even Lofty Nile technically isn't a hard counter, and it's especially bad on empty board. So, like if I have an empty board, I only have like basically 4 spikes. So having something that can give me a board and also let me counter a spell is I thought it was worthwhile. But
Yeah.
very similar deck to last time. Tempo deck tries to control the board until it can get enough of a mass of flyers that I can drop a Far Wandering Guardian and kill in one turn. Effectively. There's other ways for it to win. I could like chip away, but that's the main strategy is just getting a big enough board and using Far Wandering Guardian.
Are you
Cloud Streaker
Sure.
is kind of the this is the last card I'll talk about. Is the Cloud Streaker is kind of the highlight of the deck. Being able to do stuff in speed, like Far Wandering Guardian becomes a like a combat trick. Crystal Catcher is a counter spell that I can use easier. I can sneak out like Crystal Catcher, like I said.
a Crystal Catcher becomes an invalidate, basically?
Pretty much it becomes a validate, and also get out like Swarm. It's not as good now that I have more flash creatures because I took out the swans for Powder Scatterer, but I'll see. It did a lot of work last time, and the pump effect does make it pretty scary. Oh, I took out the Phantasmal Owls.
Oh, wait, you
That's
did?
what I took out.
Wait, isn't that like one of the better cards in the deck?
Phantasmal Owl is good, but it's weird in that it doesn't further my main game plan of control at all. Like it can hit in for a lot of damage, but I don't think there's like in the games I've played with this deck, I've never needed Phantasmal Owl.
Interesting.
It's weak on empty board, which is obviously the downside of a lot of these cards that are synergistic with the keyword.
Actually, I agree because like the Flyers deck has moved from an aggro deck to more of a tempo deck now, right?
Yeah,
because you can do.
And like I said, since my goal is a bigger board, like I need a big board for Phantasmal to be good anyways, and if I have a bigger board, I'm already winning. So I'd rather just have Far Wandering Guardian and just swing in that way. Like it just doesn't further my game plan really.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't mention Crossing the Fog, because I feel like that's a really important
Oh
part
yeah,
of the deck.
Crossing the Fog is the best card in this deck. I forgot about that. Yeah, it is basically Ancestral Recall, and
It's Ancestral
like,
Recall if
it
you're
is-
winning, right?
it is Ancestral Recall if you're winning, but there's a lot of game states where I can go like turn 1 Fairy Infiltration, which is also a really good card. Being able to make a creature and scry 2 at instant speed is really nice, especially for a deck that doesn't run that many lands and is very low to the ground. That little bit of draw fixing is really helpful.
You have
And then turn two, you Crossing the Fog, and worst case scenario, it's like look at the top 3 and put one in your hand. There are matchups where they'll have like an Exunt or a Teneration or something like that, and you lose your token, but you still have the scry. Obviously, again, not Ancestral Recall, but it's a perfect way to go from a board state where you need a little bit more advantage to a bunch of cards in hand that let you win. Like, it seems like a little bit win more, but there's a lot of board states where you can have like 2 or 3 creatures because they're flying, they can't block them. So even if your opponent has a better board state, you can get the pieces to get back and control the game.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of like board states where you're not strictly winning, but this does let you just draw 3 cards. Like,
yeah.
you will often just have like 1 or 2 guys that are 1-drops that are just around. And it's like,
Yeah.
that lets you...
Okay, let's move on from Crossing the Fog. Oh, actually, one more question before we go. So, Asti, why invalidate over Cosmic Sinkhole?
I don't run any other colors.
Yeah, yes, but you also don't run white, so
exactly. I mean, it's one blue for a counterspell.
No. I think Cosmic Sinkhole is actually strictly better here because it technically lets you play around Chalice of the Void effects because you can pay extra into the X.
Do people run that?
I don't know.
Did Mercantile Accords get unbanned, or like, is there a Sanctum prelate getting run?
Actually, there is a really good reason why you would to do this in this GP specifically, and it's the fact that Slippery Frog cares about the mana value of the spell on the Slippery Assassin cares about the mana value of the spell.
Oh yeah,
on the
right.
Stack. You can pay 3 mana instead of paying.
Right.
Yes, I will pay 3 mana for a Force Spike in case my opponent wants to use Slippery Assassin, instead of simply using the 2 other mana to cast Lofty Denial on the Slippery Assassin.
No, wait,
very wise.
It also lets you play.
It is.
It lets you play around.
I will accept. It is strictly better in that situation.
It technically lets you.
I don't
play
care.
Around,
I just don't care.
Glance.
It lets me. Have people played Cursory Glance in the past, like in this calendar year?
Wait,
I haven't seen that card in years.
Well, actually, no, it doesn't, because your opponent can just pay to 1.
Actually, yeah, it plays into Cursory Glance.
Okay. Anyways, let's actually move on because it's been 20 minutes and we're only on 2 decks so far. Okay, so should I move on to my deck now?
Real quick, I'm gonna give my deck 5 birds out of 5.
Oh yeah, right. I'll give you 5 Chili Peppers because I'm cheering for you now because I want birds to succeed.
Oh, I'm dumb.
Why?
I put it under mono black villainy. I put 4 birds. I only got 3 now.
Fair. I did play this deck already, basically.
Flyers are scary when I'm not playing them.
It's a really good feeling deck. I don't remember who I played, but I was really close to winning against Reshaper, and ended up that they had a good sequence on top to get the combo off, and I couldn't kill in time. But it's a good deck, which I didn't expect.
In the call.
I guess I can definitely imagine it because tempo decks just feel really good to play when they pop off and you get to answer everything your opponent does while you whack them with a 1/1, right?
Yeah, or like 3/1/1s or like a bunch of 2/2s in the air.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about my deck.
feel good.
So, Asti, what's the definition of insanity?
Well, it depends if you ask a guy from Far Cry or if you ask the DSM.
I want the answer that I'm
You want the
expecting a
Far
certain
Cry
answer.
answer?
I don't even know where that quote came from, but I'm assuming it's the correct one.
It's the Far Cry one,
Okay,
yeah. That's
sure.
where the famous quote, yeah. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yeah, so as you can see, I'm running basically the same deck as last time, and I'm hoping to top cut because I need to get at least one top cut this GP season so that I can get my top cut promo. Because if I don't, then I
The
miss out on
definition
one
of
chance to increase the
insanity
Toho
is-
ratio this season.
If I get a GP promo, can I reduce the Toho ratio?
Technically, anything you do reduces the Toho ratio, or any non-Toho card reduces the Toho ratio.
So I just need to make a set. That'll destroy the Toho ratio.
I'm pretty sure a set comes in no matter who makes it every season.
But I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you have to make, like, a
explicitly
500
remove all
card set.
Toho.
Most sets
My
already
deck
do.
is actually gonna be all men. There won't be a single woman. Just to
Oh,
differentiate them as much as possible.
All men set. Is that like a set theme?
No, it's just to spite you, really.
you really want to have Jim Bro Tribal, and you can't do that with.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I would.
Really.
Shoot.
Jim Bros as a type annoys the hell out of me.
Isn't
It is
it
it
an
is
actual
the
type?
least whimsical take that I have. It
Oh my
drives me
crap!
insane.
I didn't realize it was an actual type in MSEM.
Yeah.
It is technically, yeah, because there's some cards in Innistrad.
Why is it? What?
That's a really good question. Maybe you should ask Mako, who insisted.
No, okay, so I guess so Alcy, you're making a set to add Jim Bro tribal support so that Jim Bro can become a tier 1 deck, right?
I want to know. I just said I was gonna make a men only set so that it would be as minimal Toho as possible.
I mean, you can just make a
I never said I
non-anim.
supported Gym Bros.
Well, too bad. Now you do.
Are there only women in
Words
Polo?
being put in my mouth.
Am I missing something?
Anyways,
No, you're not.
Ricky, do you have any comments about your deck?
So yeah, basically, so the same main board as last time. Far Cry quote, but hopefully this works out this time. So the sideboard is different because I realized that Silent Silence is actually really good. So I'm up to 3 Silent Silences. I've also realized that what else did I realize? I realized that stand unassailable is not how you're supposed. I don't think stand unassailable is good in this meta. So I cut all those for better sideboard cards. But yeah, I think that's basically everything about the deck that I wanted to talk about. I mean, if you wanted to know more about my deck, hopefully you were present during the last Decklist stream. But
I'm giving you one tree because you've played this before.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this 1 forest out of 5.
I'll move on to a new deck once I secure my top GP top cut promo for this season.
What if you don't get a top cut?
Then I'm just going to keep Definition of Insanity until I get it, or I find a better deck to run.
Hmm.
Okay.
No, I'm not turning off my ad blocker. Emojipedia.org. Stop asking.
Yeah.
Always
Who joined?
following in my footsteps.
Next.
I
Okay,
see.
okay. Let's talk about your deck now.
What? It's what is there to talk about?
Is there anything to talk about?
Not really.
What about
It's
Sounds of
a-
Silence?
I mean,
Sounds of Silence. That's like I've seen before.
Scrap
I
metal or
promoed.
something.
Wait, no, I didn't promo this card. I made a super cool secret layer for it, and I wanted to use the card.
Is it actually good?
Not really.
So
Scrap metal. What's the game plan there?
I mean, I was just looking at like black discard. Like after Bitter Goodbye got deleted.
oh yeah, that thing also got
Um,
nerfed this month.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
just figured that scrap metal was the next best thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not targeted
Okay.
discard, but it absolutely wrecks burn. So pretty good exchange.
I've run scrap metal before. I think I won a GP with it.
Don't you already wreck
Oh, there
burn?
you go. Well,
Doesn't
you
this
just
deck-
wreck burn harder.
Yeah, doesn't this like
Yeah,
already?
why not just wreck burn harder?
You're up to 3 Bell's Descents now.
Yeah, I've been on 3 Bell's Descents for a while.
Oh, okay. I wasn't paying attention. Were you also on Pass
My card's
Unresolved?
broken. I started running Pass Unresolved last GP and the GP before that. I mean, I won 2 GPs ago, right? With
Yeah.
4 copies of Pass Unresolved. It feels okay. It's just a Night's Whisper.
Yeah.
And,
Card draws, card draw.
All right.
mhm.
What about the 2 Titan Snares in the sideboard?
Well, I'm looking at my deck list and I'm like, this entire thing is mana value 4 or less. So it can't hurt me and it can maybe hurt someone else.
Can't you just hurt them with discard spells instead?
No, I see you on ramp over there.
You can just ramp. Okay, but my ramp deck hardly plays any things that actually cost or actually have mana value 5 or greater.
It probably doesn't actually do that much. I just
Do people cast 5 drops or higher anymore?
ban
Is that a thing you can
control
do?
does. Like, there's a card or two. Who knows?
ban
Maybe there's some
I mean,
weird combo deck. If
Vivian.
like suddenly Contra's back, maybe that'll work. But
I'm pretty sure Titan Snare
mean-
is too slow for Contra. At least the broken
Okay.
Well,
version of
Contra's
that deck.
gone also. Contra's
Observer
back
of
now.
Aeons, technically.
Oh, right.
So it hits end of days.
No, it doesn't.
End of days is 5.
Wait, end of days, not end of all things. Right.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have all things.
and no
let's
Aeons,
see.
I guess.
There is some like, oh no, the Super Friends decks only run up to 4 drops.
Mhm.
Oh, it hits Sedason, and it hits a couple of Planeswalkers that people are running.
It's hitting.
Sure, I'm sure it'll come in handy.
I'm pretty sure it just gets blown up if like it's actually important in that matchup.
Yeah, probably.
That's true. What is it? Yeah, 2 drop. It does do a Queen's Duty.
Oh, this
Oh.
is really what.
Maybe it should be
Wait,
Forgotten Idol, but whatever.
what
I'm
about
not
the like black planeswalker from?
Oh, Kajuar Eye? Nobody's
Yeah.
running
You
Kajuara.
mean Xanagan?
I saw that. I saw him. I feel like I saw it. There's the Megalo Kraken.
Oh yeah, that
And-
stops
Oh
it.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I think it actually probably matches up really well in the Megalo Kraken. I don't know how many
Mhm.
answers the deck has for an artifact.
I agree.
It actually kind of doesn't. It has like Sacralize main deck and Fuel for the Fire, but it's actually very low on options.
Those are 5 drops.
I mean, I'm running 11 main deck discard. I'll probably like clear the way for my own Titan Snare if it actually matters. I mean, that's the idea of Mono Black Villainy for the most part anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's just clear all your opponent's removal and then play your threats.
All right. Do we have anything else to say about the deck before I give this one Chili Pepper and move on?
I would give it 0 chili peppers. I've been playing this for 3 GP straight.
Oh yeah. So what power ranking would you give the deck?
Like 6.5.
Only 6.5? Really?
Yeah, I mean, you saw last GP, there were 3 players running it and no top cuts.
Yeah, that's because you got variance, and also because Reshaper is Busto.
And oh yeah, Reshaper. Let's not think too much about Reshaper.
Okay, let's just give everything a 7.
Sure, why not?
Yep.
Except for me, who gets 8 Gorillion.
A 7.
I think the deck that's winning this GP is going to be Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix looks fucking scary.
Okay. Well, since you're talking about Phoenix, let's move to that deck then. Everyone else give your chili pepper rankings or whatever. Where's the Phoenix deck?
Well, there's Engineer's Birds. 2 under Nick's
Yeah, it's
deck.
birds.
Okay, the decks are slightly different. Okay, so let's look at Engineer's deck first then.
Yeah. Let's say I couldn't think of a good way to differentiate because there's 4-color Phoenix and there's Grixis Phoenix.
Wait, there's 4
this
color
version-
Phoenix?
this one runs Nightmare Riders.
You're not casting that.
Oh, you're not casting that.
Well, it's a 4th color, and it's an easy way to differentiate them.
Okay, so Assi, does
Yeah.
that mean your Flyers deck is 2 colors because you run Invalidate?
Yeah.
Mm.
Honestly, I just didn't. I forgot what Nightmare Riders did. I really quickly skimmed it, and I was like, oh, well, if it's for some reason, I was like, oh, the arrow keep. If it's on the board, you get a mill too. Okay, they're trying to cast this.
Well, that's
And I
crazy.
did not read the
Makes
part
my
that it
deck,
only triggers if it's in the graveyard.
That makes my
Mhm.
deck 4-color technically then.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
That's still banishment and costly diversion.
I mean, actually, Cockroaches thinks it's 4 colors because Cockroach only looks at color identity when classifying let's
talk about Phoenix.
Okay, yeah, let's talk
really.
about Phoenix.
So the main card that has crept into these decks is Latent Potential. So target creature gets +X% until end of turn
Wait,
where
how
X
did-
is number of instant
I thought
sorcery
this
cards
card
in
got nerfed.
graveyard.
Did it not get nerfed?
It just I know it hasn't. Latent Potential. It's really good, but I mean, I think Splash Cow was talking about it earlier, is like there's like +3/+0 at 1 mana at instant speed. So you have to be pretty set up already for it to actually outpace that.
Fair enough, but
Which it's possible, but it's not like easy.
Well, it also just like gives you such a fucking like way to completely obliterate your opponent in the late game if they're not packing like
Wait, why are Leighton is not hitting for +3/+0. It's like +8 or +9 usually
yeah,
on turn
exactly.
3.
That's why we're complaining.
Yeah, this card looks
Mm.
insane. I am now tempted to run this in prowess. With
Yeah, it'll get banned before you get the chance.
No, I'm pretty sure it's bad in
Probably.
Nerf.
But I'm thinking about like Autumn Fae with this shit.
No, Latent Potential is
yeah.
bad in Prowess because you can't get instants or you can't get spells into the yard easily.
Yeah, you're casting it fairly and not like using Unquenched Grade and Glimpse Beyond and stuff like that.
That's true.
Or just
Oh, well,
milling
this card's
yourself.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh my beloved.
Yeah.
This is
So
bad.
also, the deck also runs Relive Reality, which is a card you can flashback from the graveyard to give one of your cards one of your spells in the graveyard flashback. So you can pull off the Latent Potential combo from graveyard. And since Myoga Firebird has haste, you can just do it with 0 board presence.
You can also do it. A Cinder Feather Phoenix also has
Yeah, and that
haste.
too. Yeah, you can.
I think Cinder Feather is likely to get nerfed.
Why are these decks not running fetch packages?
What do you mean fetch packages?
I don't know. I feel like deck thinning in this deck.
Oh, you don't need a tutor at all. You draw through half your deck, like pretty
Right,
quickly.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
And in the sideboard, it's running Beneath the Zadina as its anti-Grave Hate, and it's running the Wicker Street of Gastaff as, I guess, the spicy card that you're running to beat big decks.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have 13 cards in your graveyard, it's just 0 mana kill something, you get a 3/3 that also kills something when it dies.
Yep.
Very true.
Is there like anything else you need to say about this deck other than? Oh yeah, I guess it's also running the Whisper Woods, which is a land that can keep coming back from the graveyard for free.
Phoenix has always run Whisper Woods because it's really easy to be on a painful mana base and use it. I'm actually surprised there's
no. So the reason you're running this card is so that you can discard it to one of your discard spells and draw cards and then get it back. So it turns your discard or it turns your Tormenting Voices into free card advantage.
It's also super noteworthy that Whisperwoods is each end step.
Yeah.
So if you damage your opponent, like with Thunder, you get it back immediately. Or like at the end of their turn.
Yeah. Oh, actually, this deck is running 4 Distant Thunders. Okay, that's interesting as a discard outlet because
Yeah.
I don't think you usually see Distant Thunder explicitly as a discard outlet in these sorts of decks.
I mean, that's the only reason why you'd run it, is if you
Yeah,
want
but
discard
I feel like
outlet.
these sorts of decks would prefer Tormenting Voices over Distant Thunders, right? Usually.
I mean,
Bolt is strong.
It's not Grixis. It's only blue-red in the like mana.
Oh.
yeah.
Ah.
For one bolt good, and I don't know.
I like Distant Thunder. 5 big booms.
Oh yeah, right. I remember. Like you have a very special connection to Distant Thunder.
I did. It was quite emotional.
Okay.
This gets
is it
2 fires out of 5.
Blue Red Phoenix? It's not 4 color.
Yeah.
I'll give it like 3 chili peppers. It's probably going to be pretty fun to watch. Not going to be fun on the receiving end, but will be fun to watch.
Bilge Crab is actually like nuts with how many cards it mills because every single sorcery costs 1.
Shout out to that.
Yeah.
I was talking about how that card actually is super sick and shouldn't get
Shouldn't get
we're
banned.
talking about Mill Nurse because I'm like, that card was one of the ones in Mill where it felt good to play like instants. I don't want you to like make the deck more sorcery speed. So I was like, please don't change this card. Change all of the other problems.
Okay, so let's talk about the other Phoenix deck in this GP, which is Requin's Phoenix deck.
Different?
Yes, they're different.
Yeah.
It's not running.
This one doesn't have
Nightmare Riders,
this one doesn't
right?
have... Yeah. No, yeah, it's on. It's also on Small Luxuries.
It's also run on through the Ashen Gate. So this one is actually 3 colors, right? Right.
Wait, he grabbed my build.
Wait, is it 3 colors?
Yes.
Can this thing cast black?
Yeah. You have Nebula.
Okay.
And you have Whisperwoods. Which
okay.
I mean, Small Lux is not a real black card. You just discard it.
It's another Whisperwoods type of target. I'm interested in Runner's Release.
Yeah, so that's the interesting card. So discard a card, draw a card, then conjure a data point into your hand. What does this card do?
So it's notably an instant when everything else is sorcery. So if you do this on your opponent's turn, discarding Whisperwoods, you get Whisperwoods back.
Oh. Right. It's instant speed after Creative Salvage got nerfed to sorcery speed. So I guess it's your only instant speed option now for these sorts of effects.
And then you have a data point as well, which you can chuck out or cast.
Yeah. But is there anything else? So this is also running Relive Reality plus Latent Potential.
It's also running through the Ashen Gate.
I guess they really want to get Mioga Firebird going consistently.
Yeah, you can do it on 2. It's actually a little bit difficult to get consistent Mioga Firebirds with the Nightmare Riders card because you need to cast 3 instants or sorceries in a turn, and the Nightmare Riders version kind of focuses a little bit too much on mill and not enough on maintaining card advantage.
Yeah, fair enough. So would you? Is there a version you prefer, or do you think?
I like Requiem's version.
Okay. So,
but Angener is very insistent that has been very insistent that Nightmare Riders is really good.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, you can maybe a Latent Potential charges it up enough.
But both decks are running Latent Potential though.
I mean, specifically milling more, maybe getting Latent Potential bigger by having the Nightmare Riders is beneficial. I'll have to see.
Yeah, and
very possible both these decks go deep though.
All right, I'll give it 3 chili. I'll give it 4 chili peppers.
This deck gets 2 Small Luxuries out of 5.
Small Luxuries. What are you calling small luxuries here? What is that?
Those are coins.
Ah. I can't see from this. Oh, okay, I see.
Bro,
Yeah,
yes,
it's hard to tell because they aren't the biggest, but yeah. Why did I? Oh shit.
We literally just see X's.
Oh really?
Yeah, we don't.
Huh.
I don't see anything
Well,
on PC.
Don't worry, I can see it. I think Neon just has like the wrong, doesn't have the correct font downloaded on their computer or something.
Can you see those?
Wait, can I just executively decide
can
power
see
rankings for everything?
Yes, sure, you can. Feel free to.
Yay.
If you ask me, I think this deck's about a 7.
I think it's slightly above a 7.
It's really scary. It's like incredibly scary.
Yeah, it can insta kill from graveyard.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
like Dredge. It's really hard to beat game 1, and you need Grave Hate in your sideboard, or you really will struggle. It's like kills you as fast as Burn or old Reshaper decks, and it also can go into late game pretty well.
Yeah, especially Rec Room's version, which is running small luxuries to have better grind game.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You're like Requiem's version is never going to run out of cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyways, enough talking about those decks. Let's actually get back to the rest of the decks going down. So let's talk about Scribble's deck now.
There's a couple band control lists, but they're end of all things, Lost Through Dreams, Recall, Stand Unassailable. It's all cards that you've seen before. It is still on a Johnny Enlightened, which I remember got a big rework a while ago and then fell out of favor. But I suppose it's still good enough to be run.
Yeah, it's also on a Queen's Duty, which is a card that I don't think I've really seen before.
Yeah, the idea behind this was to deal with the artifact spam that is Reshaper. Although now that Reshaper isn't getting run at all, it's a little worse.
What? No, it's
I think
still really
Queen's
good.
Duty was also
it is kind of a meta pick. It's still a good card,
Okay,
but I think I remember because Scribble was explicitly asking like, what's a good way to deal with artifact and enchantment spam. It matches well into like curses too, but
Ashley, do you know about the card from Canon Magic called Temporary Lockdown?
That card was only good because Standard's meta was ruined. Like MSEM didn't have aggro like that. There's even only like one burn deck. Burn wasn't really a thing like that last GP. I think it was mostly for curses and like Reshaper. It matches up well into those, and it's still good. Like it would do well against maybe. I mean, it'd be hard to resolve against like my deck or Neon's deck, but it would do a good job of clearing the board there.
It wrecks my deck because half my ramp comes from 1-mana land auras.
That's true, yeah. But
Queen's Duty also looks really good into mill decks that people were potentially worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been a really good meta pick last GP. And I think the couple of nerfs that people made, like it would match, like you said, would match up really well in the mill. But now people aren't running mill. And it would match up well in the curses.
I was the only one running mill in the first place. So I think it was just me.
Yeah. Which
I also see the 4 copies of Pact of the Moon in the sideboard, which is pretty good against a number of matchups.
Yeah.
That card's always bust. That card always feels busto when I read it.
Yeah. It got a little I feel like it got a little overlooked when MC Fit 25 came out because but I think it's the only one of these fatigue cards that still is actually seeing play at all.
Exhaustive Harvest is still seeing play.
Yeah.
By you?
Rest in peace. My submission Liminality does not see any play.
Yeah, Exhaustive Harvest. Squirrel played Exhaustive Harvest in one of their other Planeswalker control decks.
I rarely seen it, but yeah, I remember people talking about it when it was coming out. But it's ban control.
Yeah, it's ban control.
What was
Queen's Duty is actually a pretty cool card.
Next.
Oh, Liminality.
Liminality.
I put it in voice channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it in Cube, but
it's
I like the cube, so you did your
I
job.
like in cube
Uh,
is like the MSCM version of saying
It's good and limited. I guess the MSEM standard of I guess it's kind of like saying it's good in standard almost.
It's like
of
saying
how
it's
powered
good in
it-
Commander.
Well, that's if it was good in MSEDH. The commander format that we totally have. No one's played it in months, but we have it. It has a channel, guys. You should check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Have you been playing it recently?
No one's been playing it recently. The last messenger there was 2 months ago.
Are you trying to make people play it recently?
I haven't actively been trying, but I would not complain if people want to play it. But
Yeah.
No one's been
Okay.
playing it.
all the
Uh,
people that kept it alive stopped chatting in here in like May. And then
Okay, so before we move on, let's talk about Lumbering Thoctard in the sideboard because I've never seen this card before.
it is a card from the cube. I think I've picked it once or twice.
So what does it do then?
Has
It
control.
is. This is a magic card. I actually I guess it's a matchup into control, yeah.
Is it even
Can't be
good?
countered.
Is it even good into control?
I don't know. It can't be I don't know if it is.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, it can't be countered, but I don't know if
Look at
there are
my
any.
accent. I'm not scared.
Yeah, I don't think there are enough pure control decks. Like Tempo's a lot bigger right now.
Yeah.
Maybe in a very pure control deck, this would match up well, but
Anyways, I'll give the deck 3 chili peppers, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, lumbering raw card seems to be like, yeah, what people already said.
Okay, let's move on to the next deck because we're almost an hour and we've only gone through how many decks so far?
7.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's move on to
I'll give this 2 queens duties out of 5.
2 queens duties. So that's just
Yep,
2
2 queens. Well, technically princesses. There isn't a queen emoji strictly. The description does say it could also be used to represent a queen or any other royalty. But
All right, so let's talk
Reshaper,
about.
let's Reshaper.
Is it running Reshaper?
It's
not.
It take a while to guess.
But
Which
so they're not
I
running
feel
the
like this-
Reshaper combo anymore.
yeah, there's no Dead Man's Hand, no Reshaper, which no Dead Man's Hand, no Reshaper. Which even like Reshaper is a versatile card still. I'm surprised it isn't in here, but
So the new big card from this deck is Adamant Engineer.
So at the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target artifact you control becomes a creature, and then this
that
is too much
effect
text.
is
What
not
does it
until end
do?
of turn.
Oh,
So
it turns something into a construct permanently, and it gives it a
And-
little bit of a protection.
you can pay blue to basically exile and it comes back, which
you can blink it. Oh,
I mean,
So you could do this
constructs are good, and again, that is not until end of turn. That is forever. So actually, kind of a crazy card.
What happens if you animate Mechanus with this thing?
It becomes a
Don't
legendary
worry about
artifact,
it.
planeswalker creature.
Okay, yeah, that. But also, when it takes damage, you have to remove loyalty counters from it, and when the loyalty hits 0, it dies.
What if you blink it in response?
Then you blink it in response, and it's back as Mechanus.
Then it gets exiled and it comes back as a planeswalker. Very
Yeah,
simple.
exactly. So you can just use that to reset Mechanus. That's actually pretty cool.
You can use it to protect Mechanus for forever,
That is
actually.
true.
Wait, that's
No,
actually
until
kinda
Adamant
mean.
Engineer dies.
Oh yeah, because if they try to swing the Mechanus, you just blink Mechanus.
Now,
Crap.
Power Jam?
I don't know.
We're main deck in Power Jam in the Big 25?
I don't know about that one.
I respect it, I guess, but also what?
Maybe they think they're still a combo deck.
what?
Maybe they have
Maybe
some
it's
way of
just
looping.
trying to be like a bad time walk.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Sure.
It's not like,
forums
yeah, it doesn't
get
serve as anything of a deck. So, I don't know. I guess it's Power Jam.
Okay, so what does Harvest Tide Nemesis do? Because I've never seen this card before.
Whenever one more tokens control enter, it gets a counter. Reach Trample Ward 2, so it's kind of solid selection of keywords.
Is
It's
it
one of the better targets for Adamant Engineer, but also, yeah, you get a bunch
Well, it's already a creature, so you're not really getting as much.
You're right. You're making a construct that can grow and has Reach Trample Ward 2.
That's true.
Fair enough.
I feel like if it was that good, it'd be more than a 2 of, though.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Yeah. I was like, the main thing is, I mean, there's a decent amount of token creation. Because Bodega makes tokens, Ubisa Forge makes
Mhm.
tokens.
Unmarked Vials makes tokens.
Mechanist
Yeah,
makes
through the
Everything makes
Ashen
tokens.
Gate. I feel like this segment might be better to focus on Harvest Tide Nemesis. Like, Ward 2 is a big deal. That's a decent amount of
Yeah,
Ward.
Ward 2 on a 2-drop. You
Yeah,
can't
Ward
deal
2
with it.
And then, like you said, you get out Admin Engineer, and then it turns into because it's like it just gains. So you give it a protection effect. You're giving it a huge buff to its base stats, and then it also still scales, and it also has Trample and Ward too. Like, I'm surprised it's only a 2 of. I feel like it would actually scale pretty well.
Maybe they just don't
Harvest
want.
Tide Nemesis makes me want to run a deck just built around either making a bunch of copies of it or because I swear to God, I've been trying to make Hair's Legacy work in a deck for 8 billion years. And that'd be funny if that's how that would happen. Is I make like a bunch of token copies of Harvest Tide Nemesis and they all get bigger.
I think that's just the worst version of some other deck.
Yeah, probably, but sometimes you have to live a little, you know?
Okay, anyways, also interestingly enough, it's running iterative design in the sideboard, which is another card that I've never seen before.
Iterative is insane.
Don't know how I feel about that. It is. I mean, it's a way to get artifacts.
It's a survival of the fittest for artifacts, right?
Oh, you're supposed to run iterative design with Desperate Android, and they're not running Desperate Android, so I'm not sure what's going on here.
Maybe they had that, but then forgot to put it in.
Maybe. Desperate Android is pretty nuts with it because you can just discard it and then start sacrificing artifacts and just like it loops so well.
Yeah. I mean, it is survival of the fittest with artifacts. That is true, but I mean, the difference between 1 and 2 mana is big. I think.
Yeah.
With Android, it is just infinite tutors.
Yeah.
So one downside of running Adamant Engineer is that you can no longer run the protection from colors guy. What's the guy called again?
Shining Crusader.
Yeah, Shining Crusader.
Which is usually a really big part of the sideboard plan of these decks.
I'm not sure if I like this build. You can run 4x Shining Crusader and just side out Adamant Engineer when you feel like Engineer won't stick.
Actually, yeah, fair. Because then you have the anti-removal sideboard. Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe. I think you can get away with it. I think it's a little I don't know.
I think Power Gems could be one.
Yeah, definitely.
An Ashen Gate.
Okay, let's rate the deck and move on.
I give this 3 Adamant Engineers out of 5.
5 Chili Peppers because it's actually no, I'll give it 3 Chili Peppers because I don't want to see more reshapers. I'll give 5 because Adamant Engineer is cool.
If you play this deck, you won't see Reshaper because it's not in the deck.
I'm using Reshaper to
splashes on Villainy. It looks the exact same as
no, it's literally the exact same because it's running Sounds of Silence.
Yeah, Splash DM'd me.
The board is slightly different.
8 hours ago and asked me what I was running.
Still
I
running
sent them my
Titans
list. The board is slightly different. They have
The board has prying inquiries over.
but one infectious ego, one wave of decay.
Yeah, this is basically the same.
Okay,
deck.
copy paste and
Basically
move
the
on.
same deck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not meaningfully different, really.
Okay, so let's move
one-
on to Catcan, who is running
Wrath
Unearth. It seems like.
Unearth. Yeah. Since I remember when I played Unearth, this deck has changed a lot.
I'm pretty sure you were playing Unearth like pre Bloodjade Prophet nerf, right?
It was Bloodshade Prophet got nerfed?
Yes. Read the card. It's a 3-mana 3/3 now.
Wasn't it always a 3-mana?
No, it's it used to be a 3-mana 4/2, and now it costs 3 life per card instead of 2 life per card.
Since when did it cost? I thought it always cost 3 per card.
No, this card
Let's
got
see.
changed. It used to be a 4/2. You know what Ricky
Okay.
said.
Let me look up when it got changed. Hold on. Let me look.
You played longer than me. How are you forgetting this?
Well, for one, because my memory isn't too good, and
2004.
okay, I'm genuinely looking at MSEM news. It got changed in April of 2024, so it's been a year.
Yeah, exactly. But this card has been around forever.
I don't remember what they had for breakfast yesterday. I don't remember
Hey,
nerfs
Ricky, I
from a
think
year
you played
ago.
Well, me neither, but I remember what the cards were like a year ago because because apparently remembering what MSEM cards do is more important than remembering what I had for breakfast.
Say, I remember like the people in my life and like what they mean to me, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, you're probably not optimistic enough in that case.
I feel like I was a little more mean spirited than I meant it.
Not autism, Max.
Okay.
Anyways,
yeah,
the main additions are from Petal's Will to Distant Thunder, still very good. Deformed Sandy, very good. Creative Salvage, very good.
Well, Creative Salvage is, well, I mean, yes, I guess it's still pretty good.
Yeah. Any Unearthed deck like sees ways to discard cards. Like Deformed Sandy, Distant Thunder is like the package.
It's running Ambitious Necromancer, so you can get the turn 1, or you can get the turn 2 Ambitious into one of those 2 cards, discard something, bring it back immediately. Like that's the nut draw that you want.
Yeah, then you have there's a little bit of there's Treacherous Warden. There's a little bit of discard synergy. It's on Karatai, which is kind of the like when a player discards card, it gets counters. If you have no cards in hand, it gets keywords, and then it has like Horsemen of Famine and Centuries of Despoilers, which are both cards that make people discard, along with Deformed Sandy.
What does Centuries Despoilers do again? I've never seen this card before.
Centuries is nuts.
Yeah, when it enters, you can discard your hand to draw 2. It gives other pirates and rogues ++1, and once per turn when you discard a card, you create a pirate token.
Yes, I can read what the card does, but what does the card do?
I don't know.
If you can get like 2 of them, you just make a billion different pirates, and they're all like extremely large and impossible to deal with.
Oh yeah, I can see that happening.
You just have like 2 3/2s, and then you have constant forms of discard outlets.
Mm-hmm. I think the other card, I think it was like this card got nerfed. It was like Performer of Ambition or something.
Oh, yeah, Performer of Ambition.
I remember that card getting nerfed.
Yeah. Famine is basically the same card, I think.
No.
It's better than
what?
Well,
excuse me.
It's better than Performer is now.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Because like the main nerf to Performer was that I think the discard moved to a phase instead of on attack, which meant that you had less control over when the discard happened. And now with Horseman, it's back to being on attack. It's not as good as Performer used to be, but it's better than Performer is now.
That's still a downgrade.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's big 25. We don't have old Performer of Ambition anymore.
Is Horseman even that good though? Every time I face this card, it's
good.
Like it's been like a 2/3 just doesn't really attack past things.
Yeah, 2/3 is a weak body.
It will have Death Touch a lot of the time.
When I've been playing against this card, I usually have things in hand to not give it Death Touch.
If you discarded land, it will get Death Touch.
Oh, it checks both players. Oh.
Yes, it checks
Okay, so
both
apparently my
colors.
opponent was just didn't have lands in hand then.
It's really hard to trade evenly into this card in any way.
Unless your opponent is, or unless you don't have lands in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I guess I'll give it. Is there anything interesting in the sideboard? I mean, there's some off-color unearthed targets in the sideboard, but otherwise, yeah, I'll give it like 4 chili peppers and move on.
I'm giving this 4 unearthed graves out of
Is it
5.
No, it looks like normal graves.
Sorry, there's no zombies. There's no Day of the Dead zombie poking its arm out of a grave emoji. I've been asking for years. You know what?
They look like
Maybe there is.
to me.
No, there isn't. Yeah. It sounds like you need to fix your computer, Neon, because I see graves.
You
You see the Unicode rectangles.
I do see the Unicode rectangle.
Bozo.
Fine. I'll assume everyone else is seeing it normally.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Oh, by the way, Nix, if you want to give my deck an actual ranking, you don't have to let 8 Gorillion be in the ranking box.
Nah, 8 Gorillion is basically where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know that 8 Gorillion just means 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's move on to
Epid is
Epid.
running.
Who is on Mono Red Bird?
Neon Claw Burn. I mean, they ran this deck before.
That's true, but I don't know. It feels like a very big change.
What? No,
a bit of a change in type for Epid.
They literally ran the deck when on the first month that I ran this deck, or on the month that I ran this deck. So.
I don't. I choose not to believe that. Epid is always going to be. Is Epid the buy time combo person in my mind, or is that someone else?
Epid is a casino scam guy, except when they're on burn, except when they're playing a deck that I'm running.
You're like the new purple.
What?
You're so influential.
Oh yeah. Also, I think in Rev, Epid was running Constants back when I was running Constants.
I think it's a really bad meta for burn.
Really? I feel like it's like burn usually is.
No one expects it.
The thing is, a lot of combo decks are faster than
burn now. That's what's crazy to me.
What? I couldn't hear you, Neon.
I'm just astounded by the fact that burn is had to dig so deep that they're running Hatsuo's maneuver.
What?
I really don't think
Hatsuo's maneuver is one of the best cards in the deck.
Yeah.
The reprise is one of the best ways to get finishers.
Neon. Read Neon Claw Knight.
Look, I know what Neon Claw Knight does, right?
Yeah.
Where the wait, so Neon Claw Knight reduces the reprise cost?
Read the entire card, especially the last line.
Okay. Oh, I guess it makes it a shock instead of a. And you're paying 1 mana for. I can kind of see it. It's very much A plus B.
It's
to try to
you do.
I know it also does. It also works with other. It's not A plus. I misspoke. But yeah, I guess that makes sense. But
it's A plus B, but your A is good with your entire deck.
It's not running Fiery Temper, so it's heresy.
Also, Brazen Sacrilege also combos with Hatsuo's, so there's that.
That's true. I do love Brazen Sacrilege.
And also, having Hatsuo's means that you actually have a pretty decent late game. Like, if the game goes long and you start drawing lands, you can eventually just get big Hatsuo's off. Like, Hatsuo's onto a Scorch, deal 4, get 4 1/1s. Like, that's actually a pretty big, or that's actually a good way to push for lethal.
Yeah, I guess so. It's not running a Fiery Temper still, so we'll take that into.
It's running 1 copy of Find Greater Purpose for some reason, which I like.
That is utterly fascinating.
I do not like this card, but some
Oh,
people
yeah.
like Gal are really high on this and think that this deck
I
should
am
be
not
running it.
high on Find Greater Purpose.
Hey, nice, Asti. You also agree with me.
Yeah, I've seen so many games where it just does not. It just you just lose because you hit the wrong cards off of it. It's very much. It's very feast or famine, I think. And especially in burn, you just don't really have the permanence to discard to sacrifice to it.
Well, no, actually, in normal burn you totally do, but the problem with Neon Claw burn is that like you actually want your lands because you might want to do a big late game turn where you reprise a bunch of spells onto each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, this isn't we're not Call Axe Slinger,
Wait, they're running Cleansing Brimstone in the sideboard. What does that card do? It's just
seems like worse Fiery Erasure.
no, it hits any
I
target.
guess it doesn't. Well, it doesn't hit people.
It does. Cleansing Brimstone is any target.
Oh, I just read like it deals 2 damage to, and then I missed like 4 words, and I saw Creature and Planeswalker.
Yeah, so I guess it's just an instant speed. I mean, maybe that is better Grave Hate than the land.
I think you'd only want to bring it in if you. Like, I think you'd only bring it in a situation where you would also bring in Fiery Erasure. The difference being that you can kill things with 3 power, which I don't think is meaningless.
I mean, there
this
could be
meta.
games where this thing ends up like you top deck this thing and it goes face, where Fiery Erasure can't.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
I don't know.
I'll give it 5 Chili Peppers because it's my deck and it's still my baby.
1 burn out of 5.
I gave it 4 lightning bolts because it's short 1 fiery temper. This is the hill I'm dying on.
Neon, I can't see the lightning bolts.
I can see them.
Wait, I can't. I just have to. I just have Unicode boxes.
Oh, can you see this?
Yeah, I can.
Like next to it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Are you on like what like system are you on?
Mac.
Neon? No, I'm on okay.
Windows.
I'm also on Windows. Are you on Windows 10?
Probably. Yes, I am on Windows 10.
There we go. Yeah. Maybe I don't know if that's it.
I will die before I go to Windows 11.
Fair. At this point, I don't feel like changing my home computer to it, but the computer I bring to school is on Linux now. Hey, we're getting off topic.
Yeah. So
Crush Castle's on Red Green Elves again.
Wait.
I still don't understand this deck.
Nix, why did you rate Burn a 6? It's at least a 7.
I think Burn is really poorly matched up into a lot of the current meta.
I think you're underestimating how good Burn is.
There's a lot of life gain running around, in my opinion.
Burn doesn't care about life
between
gain.
the 2 villainy.
Oh,
decks,
villain. Never mind. Yeah, you're screwed.
And the back control.
Or actually, no. You're actually fine versus villainy if you match a stick at Prescience. But villain decks have a bunch of discards, so yeah, never mind.
So villainy deck got this cool, neat card called Scourge Dog's Edict. And I think that single card just completely flips the matchup.
Well, okay, so but Burn got Scorching Condemnation, so now at least the 4/4 lifelinkers isn't like an instant loss.
I mean, it's not unwinnable for Burn, but it's really, really tough to get through.
Okay, let's move on to Crush's deck.
Especially since Edict has a flashback side.
So it's elves.
He looks very similar to last deck. There are
Did
good
Crush win a game or win a match last GP?
I did not check. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy with field test.
Pulling it up. Crush did win a game last GP. They were 1-3. It was a bye actually. Never mind.
Okay.
They got a bye.
I like the
Oh.
idea of the deck. I just don't think it's at the right. It's at the power level
I think
of MSEM.
like
Well,
yeah, I think the only good elf deck, like maybe there's something with the rioters, Vasil rioters, where like you get support cards for elves, and then your Vasil rioters deck. Maybe,
And also, Riders
but
does not say shuffle into main library, so you can shuffle it into an
Yeah.
archive.
just archive shenanigans of Vasil rioters, like just straight up elf ball is not quite there.
Mhm.
Like any like just tribal decks in general, and like a lot of the issue is like cards that are only good if you already have a board. So you get board wiped at any moment and you just lose. If you match up in like Queen's Duty or End of Days or
You have Llanowar
Afterlife
Exemplar.
Takes Its Due.
I really don't know why they're running like 2-mana
Yeah.
orcs.
Me neither.
Like
I will accept like Asalia is a good card, but this is not an Asalia deck. Like
Yeah.
Asalia is not an elf ball card. And Ithilene doesn't really make sense in this deck either, since I don't know, unless you
Technically,
already
you can haste out one of the 5/5 Far Dancer Luge, but yeah,
you could.
it's also running Killanor with Land Tracker, which I'm pretty sure is supposed to be for limited.
Definitely a limited card. Yeah, like why are you making? Why do you care about Elf Scout tokens with prowess? You're on 4 sorceries.
They're
You don't care.
I guess you just care about the
I don't know.
landfall.
I guess.
not even running fetch lands.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I could see this deck winning games if you get like Celatine and they don't deal with it, and then you cycle through all your elves.
Or you like got
Yeah.
Madrix Harrier and get the God Flips off that.
Yeah. But I don't think it has enough card advantage to take any sustained fight, and it's not fast enough to kill really quickly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's just give it
It-
1 chili pepper, or I'll give it like 2 chili peppers for the effort, and let's move on.
That 1 elf, because I've seen this deck before.
Is that an elf? Is it not a dude?
That's an elf.
Oh.
That's an elf. It's really, again, it's hard to tell because it's small, as small as it is, but like
I should
it is an elf.
I should just increase the font size, or I should just zoom in.
Yeah.
I'm rating 3 elves to be contentious.
Sure.
Ooh, I like contention.
Yeah.
Hertzie is on what they call Erida Yuri control.
So where's the
which
Yuri?
is, I think Visage of Emeria and Erida. I'm not entirely sure what the exact synergy between them is, but I think it's just like
Okay, it's not the
Planeswalkers
duo. Yuri
are
duo is not
women,
them, but yeah.
and like Visage of Emeria is designed to work with other Planeswalkers.
Arida's
I
like
don't know.
also canonically not straight, I think.
I don't read the canon, so I wouldn't know.
I think it's Arita and Felice who are the pair, but I'm not sure.
Who's
What? I thought
Who's got
Alita
a-
Release are. I thought they're enemies.
Yeah,
Enemies to
enemies to
lovers.
lovers, whatever.
What? Does that actually happen in the story?
I don't,
I don't know.
It's like one.
Has anyone read
This
Lore of these
this deck is a
Planeswalkers?
this deck is a
Anything
spirit
is
script
Yuri
deck
if you
also.
believe.
Yeah, so it runs a Spirit Script core with a really nasty combo in Arita plus Emeria.
Which lets you take
Yeah.
infinite turns, right?
Yes.
God, it's one of those decks.
Wait till you see the next one.
Is there anything? Oh, Yazag Alpha and Omega. What's that for?
It's for if someone's running a mill deck.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I'm surprised to see Call of the Huma. I didn't think that was a card people really ran.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I think
yeah.
the hardest part is that Jeskai colors are a little hard to use. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
quite good.
Yeah, you kill something, bring something back. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you could grab your Aritas
Yeah.
back. You could grab your very Visages back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There's so
does
many ways to
It's-
tutor Arita.
It's a card I have seen a lot because I like looking at 3-color cards on Instigator for decklist ideas, but I've never actually seen it played. I think it's good.
I think Seto-san's only here because for the Yuri title. I'm not sure.
No. This deck is
Your-
running for.
Primary,
So this deck is
your
running.
primary synergy is between Emiria and Arita. That's the Yuri. But you go right here.
There's synergy between these?
That's the combo. Is Visage lets you activate additional loyalty ability planeswalker you control. So you get enough emblems, and then with Arita, you can just plus it, and then you get enough counters on it to take the extra turn, and then you just do that until it gets like 100 counters, and then you use the -X, and you deal like 100 damage.
So
Sore.
the deck also runs. So this deck runs 4 copies of Sworn Cohort, which I think that's why they're running 1 of Planeswalkers to fetch with Sworn Cohort. And I'm pretty glad that they're running this card because Sworn Cohort is a card that I'm pretty big on. As you can tell by the fact that I promoted it during last season.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping I was going to make more Sworn Cohort decks, but I just ended up not making them, so I'm like still stuck playing Ramp right now because I'm too lazy to try to build a Sworn Cohort deck. Like these decks aren't easy to build because you need to consider the tutor packages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Sworn Cohort does fetch land, so does it run any... they run 1 legendary land in the form of Reba, which, yeah, so...
Oh, they have Anzen.
And, oh yeah, so Sworn Cohort can fetch mana fixing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mana fixing, Nariba is a good legendary land. Respectable.
Yeah. So it's early game defender that dies into Planeswalker. Anyways, 5 chili peppers. Or 4 chili peppers. I don't like the infinite terms part.
This gets 5
It did
years
go
out of
5-0 in
5.
League. This deck did go 5-0 in League.
Yes, but League does not prove anything.
That's true.
I also went 5-0 in League with a deck that like formed horribly in GPs.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone was on League decks instead of control decks.
God, I love that. People in League just run
Getting
nonsense,
5
and then everyone
women
just beats.
kissing out of 5.
What, Neon? Oh, 5. Well, excuse me?
You found women kill. I only found women holding hands. Fuck.
Shout out to emojipedia.org.
Damn it.
I will not be turning off my ad blocker.
I didn't look hard enough. I looked up women. I didn't think to look up kiss. Ruined.
Okay, so let's move on.
Anyways, Silver's on Super Friends.
Oh god, it's
we're the
this
same
deck.
combo.
Yeah, we saw Arita and we're like, this card's nuts.
So I ran into this
I'm not
deck in League. Basically, it's looking to use Barton's Journal to give your Barton's Journal and Internal Ori to basically give your Planeswalkers extra loyalty. So Lady Hafid, which is a Planeswalker that I've basically never seen before. Then turns out this guy has a really annoying plus ability. And also a really annoying -4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Then
there's any
Headwind
card here,
Log.
Glimpse the Pup. It's been a while since I've seen Headwind. Man, that's a classic right there.
Headwind is also really annoying.
So annoying.
If you can pump its loyalty somehow.
Designing Azorius Planeswalker to not be the most insufferable stacks piece imaginable. Challenge level impossible.
99.9% of designers fail Azorius level.
Yeah. If you land like Emeria or Barton's Journal or even Orrery, a number of your planeswalkers just become like skip your next turn, opponent's next turn.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
Yes. For tutors, instead of Sworn Cohort, which they have 4 of them sideboard, they have 2 copies of Paragon of Haberdashery and 3 copies of Glimpse the Puppet Strings.
And 4 Emmas, right? Like that's
And
also
4 Emmas,
that's
yes.
also technically a somewhat of a tutor.
Yeah, so you're running like 30 legendary cards here.
When I play against this deck in League, they played Emma and flipped a single land.
Oh, that's a skill issue. Just flip better.
I feel like Emma keeps Emma feels insane, but every time I've seen this card played, it just whips really badly.
Oh.
Hmm.
Dion,
They
I
have
can't
3
hear
copies
you.
of Yell, which has an lockdown with Uno.
Yeah, where is it?
So there are lines where you play VL, you play Uno, and the 2 lock down the board, while Uno ticks up a few and then just dumps all the counters onto Arita, and then Arita just goes infinite.
Yeah. I mean, even if it doesn't go
Yep.
infinite, it's you're
Oh yeah,
just,
taking 3 turns or 2 turns even is enough to win the game.
not even enough to win a game, enough to tilt your opponent into conceding.
That's true. That's also true.
Yeah. You just gotta make your opponent mad enough, really.
So something that actually randomly is really good against this deck when I play against it in League is random untap effects. Like, did you realize that Kurnock can untap creatures in addition to lands? So imagine you have a 5/5 Pale Scatter on board, and your opponent taps down your Planeswalker thinking, or taps it down with their Planeswalker thinking they're safe, and then you drop Kurnock and plus on that creature, and that actually gets through your skip your next untap phases because
That would work.
because it's not
Yes.
stun counters, it's just directly skipping the next untap phase. So Kurnock plus untaps your thing and then swings it, and then Robot. If you hardcast Robot and tap everything, including your creatures, including your giant tap down board.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Very powerful.
I wonder if I wonder if we're going to run into a situation where the deck thinks it's doing super well and then just randomly dies to random untappers.
I don't think that's the case. Kernan's the only card that I could think of off the top of my head that even does this.
I mean, Rova, like I don't think
Okay, that's
the Planeswalker deck does not run counter spells, and they don't really stop your ramp. So you just ramp up to 7, get a
What?
big tap down board, and
the
Rova them.
The Planeswalker deck has 3 cosmics.
Okay, well against ramp, I mean, like cosmics.
Oh, I mean,
really a
yeah.
thing. But yeah.
I think this deck could win the GP. It's both these Arita decks are pretty nuts if they get going.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll give it 5 chili peppers because it's running the good art for a Sworn Cohort. I mean, I would have given it 5 chili peppers anyways, but I noticed that it was running the good art for Sworn Cohort, so
Mau Mau is yeah. Unrelated, but is there any card that has Gene Shi art on it yet?
What?
Is there any card in MSEM that has Gene Shi art on it?
I don't. Can someone else answer that? Because I do not know.
What?
Apothecary Diary. The guy from Apothecary Diaries. Wait, hold on. Isn't Sworn Cohort not? Is that not Apothecary Diaries art?
Next, look at who made the promo.
Oh shoot! Wait, is that Toho art?
It's always Toho art.
Oh, what? I thought it was Apothecary Diaries art.
Well, I mean,
no, it's the weeb shit that Ricky's into, not the weeb shit you're into. Sadly,
Never mind.
shit.
I thought. Man, I'm suddenly so disappointed in this card.
I mean, you can make your own promo for that if you want.
Yeah, I think I will.
You're making secret layers, so you could just make a secret layer for it.
Well, I still have a promo from a league or a GP season.
I also have put anime shit on a silver promo.
Yeah. All right. So, did we rate this deck? Yeah, 1 chili pepper, and wait, I know I gave it 5 chili peppers.
Spartans journals out of 5.
All right, let's move on. Toast is playing curses. Is it just the exact same deck except it is the exact same deck, right?
Same but worse because Curse of Tattoo doesn't cantrip anymore.
Yeah. But
Is this deck good?
I think it's probably still good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, your
Okay.
first Curse of the Telltale doesn't cantrip, but you can still get the engine going, and it's really good if that happens.
Yeah, still
I
curses.
see.
It's definitely
Uh,
significantly worse now, though.
Give this 2 cursed eyeballs out of
It's
5.
just not running
Actually,
fetch
no.
lands anymore. What is
One-
this?
What card are you?
No.
What card did you mention, Neon?
It just feels like decks aren't running fetch lands.
Oh, well, depends on deck, right? Like the next deck is running fetch. Oh, do you count Wayfarer's Shrine as a fetch land?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Mm,
It's running 1 fetch land though. I mean, that's specifically because it is Megalokraken and it's on Root Corruption, Shiftscape mana base. But
Yeah.
we'll
So
have
anyway,
This
to look
person's-
into it. I wonder. There's got to be a good think piece on why people don't run fetch lands anymore.
well, it's just because they're running decks that don't need fetch or that don't run fetch land mana bases. Like my
But
mana
why? Are people running decks that don't need fetch land mana bases, or are they building decks so that they don't need fetch land
I'm pretty sure it's
mana
just
bases?
incidental.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Ricky.
I
Okay.
think that people are making bad choices. Fetch lands are good.
Are you?
Hmm
See, there's so many
Defending
differing opinions on the
matters.
topic. That's why we need a think piece.
We need to
waiting
have
for this deck.
a BBC style roundtable debate where you take questions from the audience.
We need to
have
bring back
plethora
around
of
the
opinions.
horn. Is what we could do. That's what this needs to be, around the horn. Where
We got
Uh,
4 people.
listen to
It's almost like enough.
We'll bring back
that
the,
is enough for around the horn. I mean, we're lacking a host, technically, but whatever.
I could be the
the
host.
other modern podcast.
I mean, yeah, we could do it with 3 people. Anyways,
Anyway, yeah. So we looked at the curse deck.
Megalokraken.
So we're moving on to the Megalokraken deck.
Oh.
Same deck.
Yeah, slightly different. It is
Oh,
Jeskai now. It's running Sacralize.
Yeah, Sacralize. Yeah, I guess that's main card.
Main
New
board.
card. They were already running Alchemical Warfare before, right?
I
God, I
think
hate
so.
alchemical warfare. This is just the type of card that makes me unhappy. It's an instant that effectively gets you 2 key cards, and you can also get a counter spell out of it.
Yeah, really, really good.
They don't run hard counters though, right? They're just running Root Corruption's main deck.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only
Alchemical
actually.
warfare is crazy. What?
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I do think, I don't know how this deck will match up into the field. Like not having hard counters in a more in a deck like this, I don't know how well that'll work
You
out.
don't need hard counters if you can end the game with Megalokraken.
That's true, but you have to end the game with Megalokraken.
Also, why do I feel like I'm
which
getting
is-
deja vu saying that line?
Probably because Cybers run a lot of Megalokraken.
Yeah.
1 squid
The
out of 5.
The Shiftscape package plus Root Corruption is just so good. You can't just have mono blue ramp.
Man, it's like it's a pale imitation of what we had back when Confirmed Hypothesis and
Yeah.
the Shiftscapes were unnerved. But
Yeah.
we'll take what we can
Yeah.
get.
Rest in peace, Confirmed Hypothesis.
So true. RIP.
Yeah. So
Next is
oh, I need to rate the deck first. 3 Chili Peppers. It's interesting enough of a deck.
1 squid out of 5.
Next, give the number.
It's 6.5.
Sure. All right. So moving on. Lai is on some sort of control deck.
Yeah, it's band control. It is slightly different than the one we already saw, but there's a lot of cards that are shared.
They're
Is one of them
still
Body
running
Soul?
the one Lumbering Thoktar in the sideboard.
Yeah, probably spawned from the same idea at some point. Main deck, Apparent Apostle. But yeah, it's mostly the same deck.
Yeah, it's same
It
deck.
is on a couple different board wipes, like it's on Heavenly Radiance and End of Days main board.
Yeah, but what
Mhm.
difference
Yeah,
does that
Scribble
actually
wasn't-
make when you're the one getting wiped, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
I
how
don't
does
know.
this deck win the game?
Embodied Soul, a Johnny probably. Coalesce, Recall Forgotten Aeons.
And End of All Things.
Yeah, that
I
too.
mean, I guess. Sure.
Yeah. It's definitely a slower win. I mean, any deck that's on like Monument of Queens isn't trying
Oh
to
yeah,
win at a
Monument is
fast
also a win
pace.
con.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Very
just if your opponent sticks something, you have a really tough time dealing with it.
What? You have End of
well,
All
just
Things.
that's what you've End of All Things.
Okay, I mean,
You have out of
I
body
guess.
experience. You have 4 board wipes.
No, I'm just like thinking if you're the elf ball deck, you just spam elves every turn. Can this deck really keep up?
Yes, you get board wiped.
Yeah.
You just board wipe, yeah.
Oh, I got. Yeah, I mean,
The
You're
Queen's
running
Duty
two.
is in
Yeah,
this
you're running
deck.
2 Queen's Duties.
And you get 2 more after boards, and you probably bring in the end of days
yeah,
too
I'm just
against
not
those
very
spammy
high
stuff
on
like
these
that.
ban control lists. Also, I'm surprised Lai is running this list. Lai has been like the consistently turbo, fastest, most degenerate combo deck you can kind of player.
I think they're
Well,
just trying to atone for
Oh.
their sins after wrecking the format a few times.
By running control,
Yes.
go play
Yeah.
Burn. Go
Burn,
be
but
a
you said Burn is
wholesome
bad.
Burn player.
I will now play multiple
That's besides the
decks.
point.
Lantern Control.
What was that?
Or
Neon?
go like Ronagro.
I said to atone for playing the evil cringe deck Mill, I will play Lantern Control. I think people would actually get hyped if I tried to play Lantern
Yeah,
Control.
Lantern, because Lantern's bad in this format. Like, Lantern is
Yeah.
hype when it's bad and groan inducing when it's good, right? That's how these sorts of decks work.
What was that?
Yes.
Lantern is hype when it's bad in the format and cringe when it's good.
I think it's still
Lantern's always cringe, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Like,
at
I
least
love Lantern Control, but like if I have to sit down against it, I don't know what I'm gonna end up.
Well,
on
it's the same thing we talked about with Hertzie's deck, where you just have to like.
You mean Silver's deck?
No, Hertzie was on Turbo Fog at some amount of GPs
Oh,
ago.
yeah, that one.
Okay.
And it was brought up during it, like, you just have to learn to concede.
Yeah.
Which obviously there's some part of that that's instinctively like, don't concede if you don't have to. Like, but at some point, yeah, they just have it. They just have you
People
in a
just
situation you can't win. It's gonna take several more turns, like many more turns for you to actually lose.
All right.
Is that it? It's not bank control. We're not on the mono white token control.
What? It's not a control deck.
Mono
Nasty.
white
Just
tempo
because
tokens?
something is mono instant doesn't mean it's a control deck.
There's counter spells. There's instants.
I played
It's
this deck
control.
Good to know
last
that Flyers
GP.
is a control deck.
I mean, it is. It should be tempo though. Yeah,
it's
I'd call it
tempo.
token tempo.
Stop calling tempo control. That's not what it is.
It's aggro
What's the
control.
difference?
You don't have board
You
wipe.
control the
and blocker.
board, like whatever.
It's aggro control.
Every deck is control, actually. If you think about it, every deck's trying to control something.
What about uninteractive combo decks?
Uninteractive combo decks are trying to control the stack.
What if it's like
You're controlling your
combos?
opponent's life.
What? I need an example, really. I mean, like
the Reshaper.
Reshapers. I mean, I would say, well, Reshaper the deck is trying to.
Okay, how about
Control the
how about
board,
like Casino Scam? No wait, that's also a control deck.
Yeah, it's trying to control the turns, really.
Is there like no really busted control deck,
Every
busted
deck-
combo decks in MSEM?
There's probably been in the past.
Okay, anyways,
I just
let's
can't think about
let's move on. So mono white token. It's called mono white
The Storm
soldiers.
deck, right?
Know these what these guys are called, Asti.
Oh my god. It makes a lot of things that aren't soldiers, okay?
Yes, but fair.
Mono white soldier tempo.
But
Because when I hear mono white soldiers, I'm thinking like like just tribal or
Okay,
typal.
fair. It's
I'm not thinking like tempo deck.
fine. Mono white tokens.
Anyways, this deck's still really good, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Bioluminescent display is kind of busted. It's like right on the line of maybe it needs a nerf.
No,
I agree.
I'm still. No, it's fair. It's just it really feels bad when it happens to you, but I'm sure it's fair.
I think it's really riding the line of fair and not fair. I don't know if it needs to get nerfed, but it's definitely on the line for me.
I don't know. I was able to obliterate this deck with Mill. Like,
you obliterated a lot of decks with Mill.
You did
I
kill
understand
everyone
that
with Mill.
conceptually, but from my perspective, when I'm playing Mill, they did nothing for like 5 turns, and I killed them.
How
You
did you
took
not
me out
die?
of the GP last month.
How?
Like, they really did not present anywhere close to lethal board. It did not interact meaningfully with the things that I was making. It just feels like I feel like this deck loses pretty hard to like burn. Well,
I
don't
mean,
know.
actually,
Maybe not burn.
I think it's probably a fair matchup against Neon Clawburn because Neon Clawburn can easily clear small things, but at the same time, it doesn't really want to waste all its time clearing small things. Oh yeah, and never mind. Instant speed blockers is a huge problem for Neon Clawburn. This is it's good anti-burn.
I'm just thinking like
I think the problem child of this deck is Sunrise Prairie. The Sunrise cycle will we're realizing now how broken it is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, every time I see this card, I'm like, for like this cycle of cards, like I joined in late, and I'm like, these have existed for a while. They must be fine. But I think people just have not been using them right.
It's kind of
Yeah.
hard to
I
build a
really
deck.
should be running the blue one in my deck. I didn't even think about it though.
I really should be on the Sunrise lands in my deck. That would actually be really good.
Yeah, fair enough. Other than that, they're running 3 Sign of Silence in the sideboard. See, Sign of Silence is a soldier.
So we're children. I don't know, like.
What?
Other than that, they're running Tenuous Existence, which I like because that's a card I designed.
That's OG right there. That's OG card.
Okay. Anyways, I'll give it 3 Fortunately Peppers. Like it's interesting enough to watch that deck.
Is there a knight? There's a surprising lack of soldiers. Honestly.
Oh my god.
I think you have to look up
running Yuri.
Okay, what is that? What did you put it there? I cannot see.
Person. That's standing.
That's
just a person.
okay. That's just a dude.
I give this 1 military decoration out of 5.
Sure.
And then we have legends.
Yay!
It's legends. Asalia, the new Asalia's in here.
What does that card do?
This deck's actually very different. It also added Bellamord and
wait,
Asalia from Petal's World.
Okay, yeah, this is very different. It's running 3.
There's also Suzume and Bogrund.
It's running 3 Rogar's Frenzy. Why'd that burn spell instead of everything else? I guess technically it synergizes with Jack, I guess, but
it is a magic card. It's like a good card, but I don't know why it's here of all things. I guess the Jack strategy is just that good.
Yeah.
What are they running the green-white fetch package for? Seems like the
main card. Well, because the main cards you're playing are like Emperor's Retainer, you have Asalia, Lost in Seeking.
I think it is objectively wrong to not play Assemble the deck.
Yeah, Assemble Party is really good in this deck. As far as it's not here,
I'm just like, I don't know, being able to just have a toolbox, or sometimes you get to pay 2 mana and then get like a 5-drop sometimes if you want. It's so broken.
Yeah, there are definitely levels of legends in this deck, and being able to turn turn 1 Lost in Seeking, turn 2 Jifeng Hu, slow your opponent down, turn 3. Turn 3 get Jack or whatever, and then start doing hella damage.
It's
Hmm.
just it's.
I don't know how I feel
you
about.
want
I don't know how I
to
feel
talk
about
to-
Bugrund.
The Groon. What does that do? It requires in
I
battle.
don't know how I feel about a lot of these new cards. Do not seem like they're like particularly interesting additions. There's a lot of like this card is here instead of another card.
I think
Maybe this deck is better.
yeah,
I don't
I think
know.
they're just playing the cards
Yeah,
because
Buggerun doesn't make any sense to me at all.
it's
It is.
double strike vigilance guy.
It is a solid body. Like it's 3 mana, 2/3 with vigilance and double strike. Doesn't seem that bad. But yeah.
Okay, let me actually read what Asalia does because that's way too much text on a 1-drop. Okay, so it gets
True.
counters, it adds mana, and then it makes guys enter with count. Okay, but like, why are you running this in a Legends deck? It's a Mana Dork, right?
You're
No, it's not Mad Dork. It's Anthem Guide plus Mad Dork. Okay, I don't want to think about what these new cards do.
Yeah, this seems worse without like this seems worse than the Legends deck that was being played like last GP that top aided.
yeah. I actually beat that deck.
That deck
handedly.
did not get nerfed at all, I don't think.
No.
So I don't know why. I really
Well,
don't know
it-
why you just.
Well, clearly,
as someone who's played this deck before, this is a very confusing like list.
it's like it's like an NBA team. It's like it got its ceiling getting to top 8, and you got to make some roster changes to get it to where it can actually crack the finals. You know, this wasn't a finals deck, and now it's up to that level.
I feel like the way you make it a finals decks is you just commit to the toolboxy nature of assemble the party, and that way you just have answers for everything.
Yeah, I don't. That's the one thing. I think there are some good cards that got added. Like, I mean, again, Bugrund is like kind of just a good creature. I don't know how I feel about Suzume. I mean, like being able to repeat like Jifeng, who is nice, but I don't know if there are enough ETBs
Yeah.
that you actually want to be repeating to bother running it.
Technically, you can pick up Jack, or you can pick up stuff for Jack. I mean,
You pick up other stuff for Jack.
maybe that's worth it. Maybe, like just maybe.
I just don't think it's worth it to run these random one-ofs. If you're not running assemble them,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
so much about this deck confuses me. Because assemble the party also allows you to be more consistent and not like legend rule yourself. And you're running so many 4-ofs that are like legends that I mean, I've said it 6 billion times already. I don't understand. I don't understand. It feels like they made the deck worse. Like I don't really know what I don't think Bugrund is a good choice. I really don't. I don't think you're not running enough things that consistently in battle stuff.
Wait. I just realized Insalia,
Well, you have like
Insalia embowels your guys.
Yeah, Asalia does that. Lost in Seeking. Yeah, there really
He's
isn't
in
that
battle.
much. And you need to get Asalia or Bugrund is just kind of a creature with a decent stat line, which is like fine. But it's the kind of thing that I think you only bother running as a one of. Like you would
It's
run it
just
as a
like-
one of in an assemble package where you can be like, oh, I have Asalia and it's doing what I need Asalia to do.
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
go get
Bugrund could
Bugrund and
be-
get a bunch of dwarves.
Could be 3 more Jacks. That's the problem. That's the thing that's like blowing my mind is that Jack is like the way that this deck wins. Like Jack hands down is like the best card in this deck. And the fact that you're just not like building your deck to be like the best it can be with Jack is just I don't get it.
Wait, I just realized. So this deck is not running the Assemble tutor package, but is running the Blood River Siege Shrine as tutor targets from their fetch lands.
Yeah, I mean, Blood River is a good tutor target. I don't know if it's really good in this deck because Jack gives your board haste. Like, I just don't think this deck is winning without a Jack on board.
Yeah.
At least not consistently enough. And so, like, you don't need a haste giver,
Neon,
really.
do you think it's ever worth making your mana base worse? Just have the Blood River Seatron as fetch targets in your Legends deck?
Depends on what colors your Legends deck is. If you're going like, I don't think it makes any sense here. You never want to have a tap land. Giving
It's so low to the
something
ground.
haste might be significant. If you're running like insane 5-drops that could end the game that you could get with an Assemble the Party trigger, but you're not running big creatures like that that would benefit off of this. Like, best case scenario, you Blood River Bug Run. Like, that seems okay. You're swinging for 4, hasty for 3 mana, and a tap land.
Yeah, the attack trigger. Well, actually not attack trigger. It's a combat. Being a combat, so it doesn't matter what. And even then, that's only if you get a Salia. You need to have a Salia out, and even then, that's only gonna embattle like half your creatures.
Plus, 8 of your lands are already. I don't know why you're running 3 Many Voice Tower and not 4. That seems crazy.
I think
to me. You're running 4 of so many different legends, but having a legendary land in an aggressive deck is just too much, apparently.
I think we have picked this deck apart enough, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, so
I think we've arguably spent too.
We can end with something positive. So the deck is still running 4 Qs and 4 Queen Admirales in the sideboard, which means it will still match to wreck my ramp deck if I ever match up against it, even with the changes that you guys disagreed with, because they just bring in these guys and die.
Still good. Like the Lost Thinking, the 4 Jacks, the Jifeng Fus. Like, this deck is still going to win. I just don't understand the decisions, but and we're also dogpiling, and the Little Blank is here to defend themselves.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I'll give.
Well, that's the last deck.
I'll give 5 Chili Peppers for the creativity, just because I feel bad now.
I'll give 2 crowns out of 5 for the differences.
Nick,
I mean, like,
you're giving it 5.5.
Suzume could do good.
Yeah, I don't think
that's way too low. This deck can still just kill you. Like, even as much as we've kind of been dogging on it, there's still a really good base here. Jack is still a really good card.
I think it's a similar thing with the Alpha Ball. There's a lot of 1-for-1 removal, and you really only get an advantage if you manage to stack a lot of legends all onto the board at once. And I don't think
this deck can do that better than Elves can.
Yeah, I think it's stronger than Elves.
This deck needs less cards to kill you than Elves does.
Yeah,
and it's faster than I think that Elves is.
Love some of the choices here.
I think 5.5 is not a fair ranking. I think this deck is still solidly a 7.
I'll give it a 6.
6.5 at least.
Anyways, that's all the decks. So looks like we took 2 hours to get through what you said was a small GP.
Yeah, we got 9. It was 19 decks. So,
so we spent an average of around I can't do math right now. Help me.
So 120 divided by 19.
Let's do 120 divided by 20. That's easier that way.
We spent about 6 minutes on each deck. That's not bad.
That's a pretty long time, especially given how many of the decks that there were a couple repeats.
We also yapped in the beginning and got distracted.
That's true. It's very hard to just talk about MSEM decks for some amount of time. It's very easy to waddle off into other stuff.
Yeah, I like it. I like how casual we are.
Autistic people who like talking.
Yeah, I think it's good.
All right, my money on this GP, I think Aeongunner is going to win.
Are you willing to bet?
He's going to get his first win.
Are you willing to bet reputation points on it?
Oh yeah, I'm totally willing to bet reputation points on this. As long as Aeongunner doesn't like misplay, which I don't think he will because he's super familiar with this deck. He's been playing it for a long time in League, and I think he has a very good shot because the deck itself is very, very strong, especially with latent potential. And there doesn't seem to be that many counters running around against, like, not many sideboards are particularly teched against it, except like silver.
My money
randomly.
is on Luis Scott Vargas, this GP.
Good answer. Good answer. I'm all in on Reed Duke personally.
Imagine if we actually got an
Uh,
MTG Pro to join one of our GPs.
Dude,
we
I
had
have
some
this
C stock
fantasy-
back in the past. Yeah.
Yeah, but not
I have
now.
this fantasy in my head where I'm like, I sell a book or something, and I'm like this popular author, and somehow that equates to me getting on Shuffle Up and Play, and I make the professor play real life proxied MSE.
Really, you're looking
I-
for fame for the right reasons. Truly.
And I'm like, all right, here's the big red deck. Yes, here is your conjure board. It will
I feel like.
I think that would ruin the format somehow. I think we'd get like 500 people would join the server.
That'd be
And
great.
it would be
Oh.
like a mess for a couple months.
I would warn everyone. Well, not everyone. I'd warn all of the mods before this happens.
Well, no, if we
Um,
get 500
You would
people,
warn the populace of the server. Just
Wait, like before that happens though, we need to like get some really bad decks on deck lists.
no, before that happens, we need to like get some season promos, because once we get 500 people, I don't think I'll ever be able to get another season
the
promo
Toho
anymore.
ratio will go way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, does that mean that there's gonna
Yeah.
be like 100 season promos every season if there's like that many people?
Well,
I'm sure things
It-
would change if we became actually like
Yeah. in the hypothetical world where Neon Blue becomes a successful author, gets on Shuffle Up and Play, and convinces the professor to play MSEM, maybe the GPs will get a little bigger.
Yeah. Dude, imagine it's set submission season. You're part of the council. 500 people have joined this month, and they all have a set that they really want to put in. They're all garbage, but you have to review them.
They all have no custom Magic experience. It's so fake. All the
They're
sets
all
look like
27.
horrible.
27 flavor sets.
Yeah,
Well,
27 beginner sets.
what's the submission deadline, or what's the submission requirements for participation?
Played, I believe it was like you
See,
have to play
20 matches across 2 seasons.
Okay, so they can't just join directly the month
Which I
before.
am not. I'm unable to submit.
I'm trying to think like 2 seasons.
So that's 6
Did I
months.
play-
Or no, that's 8 months. You need to be in the server for at least 8 months before you can submit sets.
Well, couldn't you
Okay.
just grind League
But you
super
had
hard?
to have played. Hold on. Did I play a game last season? Did I play a match? Hold on. I gotta figure this out because if I didn't, that sucks.
Let me just double check the
this
submission
would be-
requirements. Okay, you also checked.
Season 26, Lagos. Is that one friend here? Oh, I did. I played.
Neon, you can just use
it's-
submiss.
Oh my
in
god,
chat.
this was my
chat.
Goodness.
this was my bullshit ass 100 card fucking Aethermancer's Familiar deck. God, that deck was so fun. And you played like Commanding Princess pre-nerf. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think I actually did very well with this. How did I do with this deck? I went 2-1.
Neon, go to bot spam and then just do $ submiss.
Mhm.
$submit.
Submiss.
Submiss.
Just go to bot spam. You can like see us all typing it before you.
Yeah, what I just done. Oh, only 75. Gosh, must be tough.
Yeah, I haven't been playing too much.
You're unable to
Wipe the sweat from my brow. I'm not the getting the right word, the least tenured or the person that's played the least in the last 2 seasons.
Okay, I've only played 9.
Weren't you planning on submitting this season?
Durham?
No, it's not DRM. I have been grinding out sets as of recent. I've gotten done
public?
with. No, it has not been released to the public yet. It is a remake of Tim's Nightmare, which is.
Oh yeah, I was gonna be like, am I allowed to say the words Tim's Nightmare?
Yes.
I love the set symbol for this set.
Play in season 26, so we're good.
Do you have a link for the set so that at least the stream isn't showing like just a static image right now?
Oh, what do you mean?
Do you have a Egg Hub link?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, cool. I'll just
Egg Hub will work.
I'll just like randomly scroll
because-
then to keep.
I'm gonna be
stuff
so
interesting.
for real. I've given myself August to play test. That's where we're at.
You missed field
I don't
test.
think it's going to get. What'd you say?
So you missed field test.
I did miss field test.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I was finishing up school. So that's.
I want to do field test at some point, but
could
I
have joined. You totally could have. Like I said, I threw together a set in 2. I threw together a set in 2 weeks for field test.
I can only get the motivation for something like that if it's Santa. And like even then for this Santa, I only made like a couple cycles. I wanted to make a set and I was like, okay, I have enough time to make a set. And then I was like, I think I would rather die than make a set actually. And so I was just like, cycles.
Yay. Actually, I'll just like randomly scroll my set while we talk.
It doesn't help. I'm not a creative person when it comes to making cards. Like I'm very bad at thinking of unique ideas and also flavor.
Same, but maybe if you have a source material that you like enough, then you can randomly come up with stuff.
The only thing I'm good at is I think I'm good at finding art.
Oh,
which it also helps that I know how to use image editors. So,
wait, can I hire you, please?
Yeah.
I'm not that good.
Pick one for Xerix, and then like I got 6 different responses saying I have too many anime girls and my art sucks.
Okay, those are just haters. Don't listen to the haters. That's my advice. Okay, send me the pick one. I'll use my anime girls.
Okay,
Project Talk on
can you just
bronze?
Just send me the link too, so I can play it on
bronze
screen. Oh,
and I can just post it.
I'm not in these servers. I don't think.
Yeah.
Unless it's. Okay, here guys, I found it.
Look,
yeah, let me see.
A revival snap is getting changed for sure. And same with mind killer equations, definitely getting changed. It's just because I didn't look up art. I just posted the cards with mechanics. I wanted advice on mechanics, and they're like,
that Dominic Mayer art on Flare Diver has probably been in every custom set that's ever been made.
That's
like
true.
Genuinely, like there's a reasonable amount of anime women here.
I literally just like took arts I wasn't using from other sets and then posted it. I didn't like actually look up new art.
The only one I actually think needs to be changed based on just this is Revival Snap, maybe. But like I think Mind Killer Equation, I think it looks neat. It is definitely like it gives me some kind of emotion. I like it. Everything else here looks
do
good.
Better.
Like Necropolis guy is a clock? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's a guy with a clock for a head.
It's a guy with a clock per head. Is it Limbus Company?
Yes.